Hey guys, welcome back to Powerstroke Boys. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to change your own oil in your 94.5 to 2003 7.3 Powerstroke. Now this works for the OBS trucks and also the Super Duty trucks that started in the early 99.5. Now if you guys just picked up a 7.3 truck, if you guys have one, not a lot of people know how to change oil, where the oil filter is located, and there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube, but I figured to make my own because this channel is all about teaching you guys how to work on your own truck, how to save money, and how to do affordable big power mods, well, on a budget. So this is my 2002 F250. I'm going to be showing you guys the oil I run, where the oil filter is located, a little bit more insight on synthetic versus conventional versus a synthetic blend. All that good stuff will be covered in this video. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this. All right, you guys. So the type of oil, what's the best oil? What's the best brand for your buck? What's not expensive? What's most expensive? Is AMSOIL the best oil? No. God darn T6 Rotella is the best to put in your diesel truck. Oil is primarily based on what you're wanting to spend for what your application is. Now, if you guys have a 10,000 horsepower Duramax or whatever, something stupid, something crazy, something you have a lot of money invested into, something with tight tolerances, something that's high revving, then I would probably recommend a performance oil such as AMSOIL, something along those lines of something high quality. But for an old Huey system like these trucks have, really any oil can suffice. Yeah, well, my truck doesn't like this oil, this truck, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Oil is oil in these old Huey systems. As long as you change it on time, you run a quality filter, your truck stays on maintenance schedule, you guys should have no problems with whatever oil you want. Yeah, some oils can have different detergent, some can be a full synthetic, conventional, synthetic blend, you know, whatever you want. But you're looking at what I've been running in all my Super Duties, high horsepower stock things like the 7.3, which is a turbo, an intake, an exhaust, and a big tune. Is exactly what my 2002 has. And you guys can see I run the cheapest of the cheap, affordable, even in today's market. Thank you, Joe Biden. If everybody's a Republican, make sure you guys hit the like button. All you Democrats, go ahead and close the video. We need Trump 2024, yeehaw. But anyways, you guys can see I run the SuperTech brand, which is a Walmart house brand, if you guys are not familiar. This is a heavy-duty diesel oil, low-emission diesel, standard conventional 15W40. And obviously I got 2 gallons because these trucks hold 14 quarts. So we have roughly 16 quarts between these 2 gallons here. And also you guys can see I just run a Motorcraft FL 1995A. And these things have gotten ridiculously expensive. If you guys been to Walmart, you used to get these things for anywhere from $9 to 12 bucks, depending on your state, taxes, things like that. Thank you again, Joe Biden. Again, SuperTech oil. This entire oil change in here, oil and filter, this is less than $67. So now as far as a synthetic versus a conventional blend versus a full synthetic oil, conventional is just your basic bare bones crude oil. It's refined, it's cleaned, and basically it's reused. And this is where you have your conventional oil. It sums it up in a nutshell. Now your synthetic blend is exactly what it sounds like. A synthetic blend of part synthetic, part conventional. Now you guys have the added benefits of being a partial synthetic, which you guys can suffice and say you can go longer mileage between intervals. Also, you guys have the part of conventional where you guys need to stay on routine maintenance, stay on top of your normal 4,000, 5,000, 6 mile oil change interval, whatever you guys decide to run. I think a synthetic blend is a complete waste of time and effort, especially money in these trucks. They're meant to work. Then you guys get in your full synthetic where it's 100% brand new. It's not refined. It's not reused, not recycled. 100% man-made, hence the name synthetic. Synthetic is going to give you better wear additives. You can go longer between oil interval changes. Also, the oils withstand to higher temperatures for a longer duration. Where conventional oil, people say it breaks down, it gets dirty, things like that. You know, I'm not a scientist. You guys can head over to Project Farm where he breaks down a bunch of the oil brands, and SuperTech is actually one of them. So if you guys want more information, do your homework. But as far as oils, that's what I'm running. That's a little insight on conventional synthetic blend versus full synthetic. Let's go change this. So these trucks hold 14 quarts of oil. You guys are going to need a catch basin that, well, obviously can hold 14 quarts of oil, which is roughly 4 gallons. Drain plug size. They are a 19 millimeter, which I'm going to be using here, or you guys can use a 3/4. Your oil fill cap is right over here on your passenger side valve cover, right behind your AC compressor. Go ahead, pull this off. I went ahead and loosened mine up, and I heard a little bit of air coming out of here because it was creating vacuum. Now I can draw air in to drain the oil quicker. Also, here's your dipstick. So this is how we will check our oil level. You'll see the oil pan right up underneath the truck. Your guys' truck's a little low to the ground. You can use ramps like you guys see in the video. Go ahead, use that 19 millimeter, pull your drain plug out. Make sure you guys put your catch basin up underneath the truck. Once you do that, go ahead, let all your oil drain out. So before we go ahead and put the oil plug back in and drain the oil filter, this is a copper washer. Now these can wear out. Sometimes you guys can flip them in a bind if you guys don't have another one, and it can seal on the opposite side. But really these things are a one-time deal. And this one's been leaking for a little bit. I was just waiting for my oil change, obviously, to change it. Now you guys can get these at your local hardware store, parts store, or even Harbor Freight. This is just a variety pack of copper washers. So maybe we got lucky in the first. Nope, need a little bit bigger than that. So that looks like a pretty good fit. You guys can see the overlap. All right. So to get these off, sometimes they can be a pain in the butt. So what I like to do is either you guys can try to unscrew them, or you guys can take a pair of snips, like I will in this demonstration, and you guys can just cut it, and then use your pliers to just open it, and make sure you guys have the right one. You can take the new one versus the old versus the new, and you guys can see same diameter, so we're good to go. Go ahead and seat it all the way down, and we have a new copper washer for our oil drain plug. With our new copper washer, go ahead and just screw it back up. And we can go ahead and tighten this. And it doesn't take much. You don't want it loose, but you don't want to strip the pan out either. All right, it's pretty good with that. We can go ahead and wipe the excess oil off. All right, you guys, now obviously the next thing we have to do is go ahead and drop our oil filter. Now you guys come up underneath the truck. If you guys' truck's four-wheel drive, you'll see the front drive shaft. You'll see your front pinion, and you look up, and there is your oil filter. Now this oil cooler housing, which is this big reservoir up here, holds oil obviously, and there's still going to be residual oil that comes out of the block from the oil galleries, comes down the oil cooler from the filter, and it's going to leak out. Now you guys have two options. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a air hammer and knock a hole in the bottom of this filter and let it drain, because that's the least messiest, and I have access to an air hammer. If you guys don't, a hammer and a chisel works or vice, or if you guys are quick enough, you guys can unscrew this filter, drop it, let all the oil drain out from the oil cooler housing, and go ahead, discard your filter, go ahead and lube up your new O-ring on your new filter, go ahead and screw that up, and I'll show you guys how to put your new filter on. Alright you guys, I got you in the best view possible. I'm going to be using an air chisel with just a pointed end on the end of it. Again, I have this tool, so it just makes sense to use it. Look at that. You can tell I've been doing this for a long time, kids. That drain, and we'll come back when this is done. Filter, I'm going to be using my oil filter pliers here. Now make sure you guys spin this off the right orientation, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So we need to go ahead and go counterclockwise. Nope, not quite yet. Alright, there we go. Now there's going to be oil run out of this filter still from the oil cooler housing, so make sure you guys just be quick with it. I like to use the other hand here to kind of brace the filter. And we'll go ahead and let that drain. And obviously, since we punched a hole, we don't have a big mess coming down, which saves you guys aggravation and also the cleanup. All right, you guys, this is an old empty T4 Rotella jug that I pre-fill with some of the SuperTech oil. I'm gonna go ahead and just pre-fill this oil filter some. I go right below the thread line, right? It's good. Go ahead, take some oil and lubricate your O-ring. You guys want to do this so you guys prematurely don't chafe or rub this O-ring in any way, shape, or form to disorientate it. See down in there that we have oil. You can go all the way to the top, but I don't like to, just in case that I bunk this underneath the truck or whatever the case may be. It just prevents a mess. Ask me how I know. So let's go ahead, take this up underneath the truck and replace. Alright you guys, just like the oil filter came off, we're going to replace it with the new one. Again, we went ahead and pre-filled this bad boy. Now these FL 1995A filters are kind of big, and the oil filter housing, if you guys look at the clocking of it, it's kind of orientated toward the oil pan at a weird angle. So getting these things up here, there's this little void, this channel here in the oil pan that's actually indented for the orientation of the oil filter. So you come up, follow that orientation in the oil pan, and go ahead, screw this on, righty-tighty, just like that. And again, you guys can put these on hand tight. I like to go hand tight and then just a quarter of a turn. And usually I like to go so the Motorcraft sticker is facing out, and that's how I know that it's good. And I've never had a leak with the orientation like that. Again, these stickers are probably placed on random different orientations on the oil filter. It's probably never the same unless I have a machine doing it, obviously. But that's what I do. It seems to work, so figured I'd tell you guys about it. Alright, you guys, I like to use these super quick fill funnel. Again, obviously there's the part number there. It is 10714. This fits perfectly right into the dipstick housing right there. So when you guys are pouring oil, obviously the trick is to have a steady hand. I like to put the bottle at a horizontal orientation, and I like to tip it up. If you guys try to pour it at a vertical orientation, usually you guys will try to pick up air. It'll gulp, gulp, gulp. You know, it'll basically juggle up on itself in here, and it won't pour it smoothly. Pour it at a horizontal orientation. Wait till this is full up. Let it drain, fill it back up, and you guys will do that for all your oil, and you guys will get. So this is completely optional. I didn't show this earlier in the video because if you guys are new to diesels, you don't know much about oil additives, so I'm trying to keep it realistic, reality here in check. But every oil change, again, since I've been a young teenager, I've been running this Lucas heavy-duty oil stabilizer. Essentially what this is, it keeps everything sticky. Keeps your main cap sticky, and basically it just keeps oil everywhere, usually where oil tends to drain down back in the oil pan. Like, let's say your cylinder walls, for an example, you know, the truck sits overnight, everything cools down, that oil is eventually going to drain back down in the oil pan. This keeps everything nice and sticky and thick, so you guys can, you know, help prevent dry starch, which a lot of people intend to use this for, is to inhibit the dry start effect of prematurely eating piston rings, cylinder walls, things like that. So I'm going to be using a whole jug of this, which again is 4 quarts, is a gallon. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on a time lapse, and I'll go ahead and pour this in. You guys will see how thick this stuff is. All right, you guys, going to go ahead and pour the 2-gallon jug in. So we went ahead and put 1 gallon of stabilizer, which is 4 quarts, 1 gallon. We're about to put this 2-gallon jug in, which is 8 quarts. So that'll be 12 quarts. We need 14, so we'll have to take 2 quarts out of our other jug. Last filled a little bit, that's for sure. Not bad, not bad. All right, you guys, we went ahead, got the oil catch pan, moved out of the way, old filters in the garbage, went ahead, put the truck in neutral, rolled it off, and you guys can see how much lower this truck sits now. So we went ahead, replaced our oil filler cap, and let's go ahead and set you guys here up on the tripod. Now we need to go ahead and swap our dipstick, which is right here, to check our oil level. Pull it out, go ahead, wipe it. And again, obviously my truck was just on ramp, so I need to let it sit for a minute, but we're gonna go ahead and see what it says, just while we're right here. So make sure your truck's level, and we're gonna go ahead and fire our truck up. We'll let it build oil pressure, we'll watch our gauge, we'll let it run for about 5 to 6 seconds, and then we'll check the dipstick. So watch our gauge rides, let our H-pop build, there we go. All right, give it a couple seconds. All right, and obviously we'll check for leaks here in 1 second. Let's go ahead and check our dipstick. All right, you guys can see we're on the money. You check the back, and again, this oil's already black already. We're just a tick above the full mark. You guys can see where this serrated indicator is right here, where it's got a bunch of hashes or X marks all the way up this 1-inch line. You guys want to be at the top of that when it's cold. When it's running, you guys basically want to be in the middle of that. So that oil level right there is really good. So again, we can go ahead, wipe it, we'll swab it one more time just to verify. You guys can see we're on the money. All right, you guys, gonna let the truck run. Let's go down and check for leaks. Alright you guys, that's how to change your own oil in your 7.3 Powerstroke, regardless if it's an OBS truck or a Super Duty truck. Very easy, very affordable. Doesn't have to break the bank to do a nice oil change, nice oil filter, and have a reliable, strong running engine. The 7.3 is the robust, and we're going to turn this one up eventually. So if you guys want to stay tuned, make sure you guys subscribe, click the notification bell. Please drop a like, comment, share with everybody you know. Make sure you guys follow me over at Powerstroke Boys on Instagram. I'll give you guys a follow right back. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video.